women, it's then that I realize they've been weeping, not out of grief, but for joy. Now I too become filled with joy, and when I look up at Christ, he's no longer writhing. Perhaps life is not a linear experience. Perhaps life is a multitude of journeys, all of which occur simultaneously. Rome, the Sistine Chapel. I turn and look around me. Colors, blue, yellow, red, orange, gold, animate scenes on the ceiling and walls. Some scenes I recognize. The creation of man, Adam and Eve, the crucifixion of Christ. Some scenes I don't recognize. David and Goliath, the separation of light from darkness. My God, my eyes aren't big enough to see all there is to see. I concentrate on a detail in the Last Judgment by Michelangelo. St. Bartholomew displays the knife and flesh of his martyrdom. Michelangelo's self-portrait appears in the folds of St. Bartholomew's flesh. His face is distorted. His body hangs limp, lifeless. You do not have to sacrifice any part of yourself to be loved. This has never been my experience. Maybe some damage is irreparable. No. I need to sit. I turn. Out of the corner of my eye, I see another self-portrait. It's me sitting there, distorted, limp, lifeless, tired. I need to sit. I turn and see another self-portrait. It's me sitting there, waiting. I'm 5 years old. It's the first day of ballet. There's a round wooden bar attached to a mirrored wall. I watch as a group of girls warm up at the bar. I want to be one of them, one of the warming up girls. I want to dance more than anything, but I don't. Instead, I sit and wait and listen to the music, imagine myself spinning, swirling, pirouetting, becoming the music. My mother glares at me from the dressing room. I wish I could swirl myself out of her sight. Begins with one cell, choosing to dance. Rome, the Sistine Chapel. I turn and out of the corner of my eye, I see myself sitting, waiting. Maybe some damage is irreparable. No. I'm 5. It's the first day of ballet. My mom says this is our lucky day because we found a parking spot right in front of the dance school, which is on the 2nd floor of this huge gray building. Quit dawdling. We're running late. I feel sick. I think I'm gonna throw up. You should have thought of that earlier. Now come on. I wish it was yesterday. Perhaps life is a multitude of journeys, all of which occur simultaneously. In less than 4 weeks, I'm supposed to go to Italy, and I still don't have my passport. I'm waiting for my birth certificate, a birth certificate to replace the one I lost. Call me. My father never calls to chat. I couldn't get your birth certificate. I went to the city clerk's office, and the woman there said, according to your birth certificate, I'm not your father. In my dream, I'm in Africa. Open landscape, gentle breeze, dancing golden grass under an expansive sky. A family walks in the distance. I see a young boy with them, small, fragile. I watch as they strap him to a rock, place a vessel of water just out of his reach, and instruct him, wait here. Wait till the dark man comes. Then they turn and walk away and never look back. I see myself now. I too am strapped to a rock, but I have been here longer, long enough to know that no one is coming for me or for him. Sometimes all we can do is wait. Yep. This is what I know. We learn who we are. From the moment we're born, we learn who we are by how others perceive us. We learn who we are by how others treat us. We make choices based on who we've been taught to believe we are. Some things we're taught are not true. From the moment you were born, you reminded me of my mother, and I hated my mother. Some things we're taught we spend a lifetime trying to forget. Why Italy? They pee in the streets, it stinks, and the food isn't really that good. The thought of my traveling to Italy repulsed my mother. So, where did you get the money? Your father loaned it to you? You know, the military has pulled out of Italy because of terrorist activity. You couldn't pay me to go to Italy, that's for sure. Not now, not ever. Here's her problem. Well, one of them anyway. My father is 100% Italian. What are you going to do with your dog? You know I can't watch her. Have you found your birth certificate yet? You know you can't get a passport without a birth certificate. Your father's getting you a copy. I don't think it's going to be that easy. They won't give it to him. They just won't. I went to the city clerk's office and the woman there said, according to this birth certificate, you're not her father. He used to be. I had a copy, you used to be. No matter how hard I try to stay in one place, in my mind I can't. I couldn't be in Italy, not for any long period of time. I kept moving in and out. Even before I thought I was in love with him, he told me his secrets. Pisa. The tower on the left is a bell tower of the cathedral. Its construction began in August of 1173 and continued with 2 long interruptions for about 200 years. Though it was at one time widely believed that the inclination of the tower, that is, the beaming, was a part of the project, we now know this is not true. The tower was designed to be vertical. It started to incline during its construction. Numerous measures were taken to prevent or even repair the beam. Today, interventions are being performed on the subsoil in order to significantly reduce the inclination. In conclusion, the tower wasn't built to lean. Somehow it just happened. Ugh! I'm out of Italy again. It happens that fast. One phrase can take me out the moment I'm in, and I'm gone. Now, I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy because I had a dream. A dream I believe foretells the demise of my current relationship. In life, there are signs. Some signs are physical instructions about what to do next. They're easy to find and easy to understand. Stop. Yield. Slippery when wet. Do not enter. No trespassing. Ding, ding. Watch your step now. Boarding. Please fasten seatbelts. By paying attention to these signs, we attempt to ensure some sense of order, predictability, safety. Some signs are spiritual instructions about what to do next. They're not always as easy to find or understandable until after. Later, sometimes much later, a missing birth certificate, a dream, Italy. To pay attention to these signs, we must surrender our need for predictability and safety and recognize that some greater force is in control. Or not. I have often had to be tied up, knocked down, dragged, white knuckles clutching at anything, kicking and screaming to my next destination. I have often chosen to ignore the signs. This time, the sign comes as a dream. In my dream, I stand alone in the center of the courtyard. Suddenly, the ground beneath me rumbles, and there's a flash of light, an explosion. A huge cloud mushrooms from some distant point on the ground into the night sky. Flames radiate from the cloud in all directions. There's no way I can outrun the flames, so I wait. God, I don't want to die like this. I don't want to die alone. The flames recede just as they're about to touch me. I have to get home. I see him now. He's loading his truck. He doesn't look at me. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than you. I can't catch my breath. He doesn't look at me. He's loading only his things into his truck. I hear a voice. Go to the basement. I'm frantic now. Going to the basement is the only way to survive. I'm sure the voice is right. I try to convince him he doesn't look at me. Then he's gone. And I'm in the basement with my dog. I hold on to her. It begins with one cell choosing to dance. I can't think about that now. That journey begins with a thought, a belief, an idea, an expectation. I thought by going to Italy I could escape the grief over the loss of my relationship. I believed taking this journey would be like stepping onto a magic carpet. I expected to be suddenly, painlessly, completely transformed. Before my grandmother had my mother, she had another daughter who died of pneumonia when she was 3 months old. I have only one mental picture of my grandmother, gifted to me by my mother. When you were 3 months old, I saw my mother holding you, rocking you, speaking softly to you. I knew you would come back to me someday. I knew you would come back to me, my precious baby girl. You were always my favorite. My grandmother's first daughter, the one who died at 3 months old, was born on the same day I was born. From the moment you were born, you reminded me of my mother, and I hated my mother. It's the yearning, the longing for that which may never happen. That's the tension, the energy that drives life. According to this birth certificate, he's not your father. He used to be. Sometimes all we can do is wait. Yep. Pompeii. White, puffy clouds, drifting orange trees, fruiting oceans, sparkling light green blades of grass, dancing and temples and theaters and mosaic tile floors and fountains and art everywhere. Everywhere art. If I'd ever lived in Pompeii, I'm certain I would have never left. Not even when Mount Vesuvius erupted. Not even when black ash pressed heavy on my roof. I would have believed that my walls, my doors, my ceilings, my roof were enough to protect me. I would have believed that my gods would never punish the righteous. Even before I thought I was in love with him, he told me his secrets. There are things. I have things. No, I've done things. They're in the past, right? Right? So it's okay. I molested an infant. What? And I molested my little brother. Oh my God. It's in the past though, right? I have to get out of here, just like you said. God, I can't wait to put I need air inside you. Oh, so wet, hot. Ouch. You're gonna hurt a lot more before I'm finished with you. I'm 2 years old, playing in the yard, surrounded by the fence covered with wild, vining pink roses. I look up. Bird! Bird! I dream I'm a man. I live in a place where everything looks golden like sand. Suddenly the ground beneath me trembles, the earth opens and moans. A jagged crevice widens and I see my family on the other side. I scream, but my voice doesn't reach them. I feel the dirt cave beneath my feet. I love you, I shout as I slide into the darkness, into the smothering, moaning earth. I love you, but my mouth fills with dirt. Later, much later, during a moment of intimacy, he asks me if he can act out one of his fantasies. He grabs me and pushes me onto the bed and up, up. There are huge holes. There are pieces missing. It's not that I don't remember things, I do, but I can't trust my memories. And each time my mother tells the story, it's different. You had wandered into the backyard. Your Aunt Bertha and me were in the front yard trimming rose bushes. We heard you scream. Well, your Aunt Bertha heard you, and the next thing I know, she started yelling and screaming. She ran into the backyard and found you trying to crawl into the doghouse. Doghouse? I don't remember any doghouse. Hand me those scissors. What? Scissors. Scissors. You got wax in your ears? I found a coupon for Ty. So anyway, your aunt kept yelling and screaming at this kid running down the street. You get the hell out of here! You dirty little kid, get out! And don't you ever come back here again, you hear me? And that goes for your little friends, too! Oh, her voice was so abrasive. I think she scared you more than he did. Ooh, now this is a good coupon. Sugar. You never find coupons for sugar. The first time my mother told me the story, there were boys, lots of boys, and a pine cone, and a visit to the doctor afterward who instructed her to never, ever talk about the incident. She's young. She won't remember. My mother finally told me the story because I've been having recurring nightmares for over 14 years. That boy wasn't normal. He was a big problem. He's the same kid who took your sister's cat. You remember the orange cat? Well, that kid picked up the orange cat, swung it by the tail, and flung it into the stone wall by the side of the house. He broke 2 of the cat's legs. The neighbors saw him do it. They called the principal the next day because that kid used to stand at the bus stop in front of their house and they didn't want him there anymore. The principal created a new bus stop further down the street. He was one weird kid. And I don't know who that man was living with his mother. I know they weren't married. You know, she was arrested shortly after that for writing bad checks or something. I think the state took the kid. There are huge holes. There are pieces missing. I used to have a copy of my birth certificate. My father's name was on it. Now it's not. Pompeii. A tour guide walks in an arc to avoid the dog. It won't be long now. What the woman means to say is that it won't be long until this dog is dead. I look at the dog. She's ugly. Hair matted in places, no hair in others. Mange with open sores, some freshly bloody, some brown and scabbed. Fleas. It looks like something bit one of her ears and her left side between her spine and her belly. She's missing her left front leg. Another group of tourists walks toward the dog. They too walk in an arc. I watch them. I look into their eyes. I want to see something, anything in their eyes. And there are others too, other dogs, all dying, slowly starving. I think about buying them some food. I think about taking them home. I think about my own dog, Sophia, named after a goddess. I found her emaciated and abandoned in a parking lot. Someone must have dropped her and walked in an arc away from her. Please, don't feed the dogs. Even before I thought I was in love with him, he told me his secrets. I was molested by a female babysitter. She was like 4 years older than me or something. I was also molested by a male daycare worker. Not that it's an excuse or anything, because it's not. No, it's not. I knew you would understand. I don't. Come here. Now. I'm 6. Under my bed, hiding from the shadow. Can't sleep. Don't sleep. Be still. Don't move. Don't breathe. Someone, anyone, please. God. Up, please, up. Later, much later, during a moment of intimacy, he asks me if he can act out one of his fantasies. Pick a fight with me. Fight, bitch. Look at it. I want all of this in your mouth. Be nice. You want this inside you, I know you do. Beg. Beg or I'll fucking choke you. Now get up. Roll over. Be still. I'm gonna fuck you so hard you're gonna wish you were dead. Ouch. In my dream, I'm in Africa. He's strapped to a rock, water out of reach. Wait. I'm strapped to a rock, water out of reach. Wait. No one comes for me. No one comes for him. Wait. One fox leaps up, bites me in the throat. Perhaps adversity, pain, tragedy, loss punches little holes in us. This is what I know. Pain punched little holes in me, and I leaked out. And when you are empty, people try to fill you. I'm 8, 10, 12. They've given me drugs because I don't sleep. Now, I don't hear the door open. I don't see the shadow. I don't feel the covers being pulled off, my panties being pulled down. Sudden pain thrusts me awake. Weight, sweat, hand. I learned how to survive. I didn't kick, scratch, punch, scream, cry, even tell anyone afterward, ever. I tried to stay awake whenever I could. Asleep in my bed, covers, panties, weight, sweat, please, oh please die, just die. When the shadow leaves, I ask the angels, why didn't you stop him? Human beings make choices. Every moment is a choice. Every moment is a choice. Not for you. Not then. Venice. Is this where my father's family is from? The city of water and gondolas and handsome Italian men who will row you around the city for a fee and sing to you if you like, or an additional fee. There are no streetlights in Venice. No streetlights. I walk down dark alleyways, narrow dark alleyways that maze around the city. In my dream, I'm in a hallway. The shadow lunges out of the darkness. I explode out of my body and fly through the house to where my mother is sleeping. I try to wake her. I fly back and watch the shadow rape a doll with huge eyes and a tiny round mouth. I see the shadow's face. I smell him. In my dream, I'm having sex with a man. We finish, get out of bed, and he leaves the room. I notice a pair of legs backing themselves out from under the bed. I recognize the odor. sleep at night, I always check under my bed for monsters. What do you want? In Venice, there are no streetlights. Without light, we are all invisible. We all disappear. I plant violet flowers in a white rectangular box which sits in my kitchen window. Every day they die a little bit more until there's nothing left but dried brown sticks jutting out of the soil. What do you want? What would it take for you to believe? Bring my flowers back to life. I put the flower box outside, out of my sight. He packed with a zeal I never before witnessed in him. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than you. I begin having revenge fantasies. Dog shit. Piles of it. On the front seat of his truck. A bushel or two of live crabs in his bed. Spray paint, fuck you, on the front of his house. Spray paint, fuck you, on the front of his face. Super glue is dipped to his leg. Tell his new girlfriend his secrets. Tell everyone. Rome. I stand outside the Colosseum. I look for a rock that seems ancient, a rock that might have been a witness to betrayal. I find one that's small enough to fit into my luggage. I squeeze the rock and watch as minute pieces fall through my fingers. I think about the day I met him. He was leaning against his truck, smoking a cigarette, waiting to talk to me. I don't date smokers. He immediately put out his cigarette. That boy wasn't normal. He was a big problem. Scissors. You know, he had a club in the woods. And you know what he made other kids, boys, do to join? They had to walk through the neighborhood naked. Naked, do you believe that? That kid was a pain in the ASS for a long time. Ooh, here we go, hamburger helper. Anyway, I spoke with the kid's mother and her idiot boyfriend. I told them, your kid needs psychiatric help. And you know what the idiot boyfriend said? He said the only thing a psychiatry book is good for is to beat him with. The mother was arrested after that for fraud, for getting food stamps and selling them or writing bad checks or something. I think the state took the kid. Come to think of it, the mother never said very much. You know, she never even said she was sorry. I'm 4. My mom puts me in a big brown chair that gets sticky to my legs. She reads me in big red book with pictures. She tells me girls have eggs inside them. She says every month one egg goes on a vitamin tube and sometimes eggs become babies. She tells me boys have sperms and sperms try to get the eggs. She tells me always swipe from front to back. She tells me never let anyone touch me down there, especially not my father. It's the first day of ballet. I step up onto the porch. I hear the music, the clapping and counting. My stomach hurts. The dance school is on the 2nd floor, and there are 50 or 100 or 1,000 steps to climb. I climb and climb and climb. My body feels like I'm turning into a rock, a big rock. Even though I'm only 5, I'm pretty sure I'll probably die before I reach the top. And I'm pretty sure I'm okay with that. My fantasy is I'm wearing a flowing white dress made of cotton. I step into the bathtub, sit down, slip my wrists, lie back and watch the white become red. This is what I learned. A good woman is one who is willing to carry their projections. This is what I learned. When you are empty, they fill you. In my dream, a man holds a whip while he eats dinner and does horrible things to me when my mother isn't looking. But my mother says we have to keep him. This is what I learned. If I'm crazy, they're not responsible. This is what I know. I'm afraid to sleep. I'm afraid that when I wake up, I'll be gone. It's the perfect plan, or so I thought. I've been stashing pills for months. My mom and stepfather leave me alone in the house with a guy they like a lot. A guy they think I should marry. We sit on the couch. We listen to music. Of course he wants to touch me. I let him, so he won't interfere. Every 5 minutes, I leave to swallow a few pills. He gets suspicious. I tell him I have to go to the bathroom. I need a drink of water. I have to check something in the kitchen, my bed, or in the den. I'll be right back. By the time anyone figures out what I'm doing, it will be too late.
Stupid bitch! Get up! Give me your arm!
Want to swing on a star.
What the hell were you thinking?
Carry moonbeams. So
I should have seen you doing that. Leave you here to die!
Better off than you are. Would you like to be a fish? A fish. Why would anyone want to be a fish? Hey you, guy, where are you taking me? Hello? What? What'd you say? I don't understand you. Are you speaking Spanish? Habla español? Ole? Fuck it. I don't speak Spanish. God, I feel sick. I'm gonna rest my head, okay? Lie down here. Spin. Swirl. Oh. Can you turn that siren down? Trying to rest here. I don't know much about history. Don't know much Spanishology. Spanishology. I just made that one up. No, seriously. I know the lyrics.
We've got an overdose.
Having a little fun.
Put her in room 3.
Here we go.
How much did she take?
Don't know much
Christ,
about
how much time is it?
history.
Get the pump!
No! No!
Get the restraints!
Fuck you! Fuck you! Get the fuck off me!
For someone who wants to die, you should start putting a
Leave me
private
the
life.
fuck alone, you fucking mother!
What are you doing to my daughter?
Get out of here! Get her
She's
out!
resisting. Make her drink more water. Induce vomiting. If nothing else works, charcoal. Shit!
Am I dead?
Yes.
Look, it's me lying there sleeping. No shadow, no covers, no panties, no smell, no hiding, no nothing. Look at me. Oh no, what are you doing? No, no, let me die. Let this be my body. Just this once, let this be my body, please. No.
Clear! We've got her.
Rome, the Sistine Chapel. St. Bartholomew displays the knife and flesh of his martyrdom. Michelangelo's self-portrait appears in the folds of St. Bartholomew's flesh. His face is distorted. He hangs, limp, lifeless. Out of the corner of my eye, I see another self-portrait. It's me lying there. I thought you were going to sleep forever. Me too. Verona. I climb down the stone stairs. My leg muscles tighten and cramp, but I continue my descent. I climb down the stairs because I need to get to the bottom. I walk to the center of the arena and look up. How many people cheered, felt justified, entertained by the violence they witnessed? I imagine myself as a prisoner, jabbed, poked, pushed by the guards. This time I am saved. In my dream, she was wearing a red dress. She had a rash on her neck. She was self-conscious about her weight. Her name is Abigail. Couldn't deny it. Not once he heard her name. I beat him with a dish towel. The first time I had my period, I thought there was something wrong with me. It was the blood that scared me. My fantasy is always the same. I'm wearing a flowing white dress made of cotton. I step into the bathtub, sit down, slit my wrists, lie back and watch the white become red. But it's not my wrists that bleed. The night he packed and left. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than you. He masturbated into a towel and threw it at me. Here, something to remember me by. I should have told him all your secrets. I should have spray painted "fuck you" all over your fucking body. Sometimes at night I wake up gasping for air, pain shooting in places that were never mine. Florence, I'm lost. I'm surrounded by people, but no one knows me. I walk. I'm asked for directions. I can't remember the name of the hotel anyway. It's the first day of ballet. The dance school's on the second floor. We finally reached the top. Alive. I make it to the dressing room. Alive. The teacher claps 3 times, and all the girls run out into the studio. Go on. Get out there. What are you waiting for? My mother is not happy. I said, go on. Get out there. Stop making a scene and get out there. You are not going to do this to me, young lady. I did not spend all of this money for you to embarrass me like this. Suddenly, the dance teacher enters the dressing room. What's going on? I'm lost in Florence. I walk and breathe. My mind thinks of nothing but the walking and the breathing and surviving. Asleep in my bed. Weight, sweat, hand. God was not my father then. This is what I know. Pain punched little holes in me and I leaped out. Suddenly, the dance teacher enters the dressing room. What's going on? I look down at my hands like this. What's the matter? There's nothing the matter with her that a good swat in the rear end won't fix. The dance teacher lifts her hand, and I swear she has magic in that hand because my mother just shuts up. Come with me. You can sit and watch, and whenever you're ready, you can dance. In my dream, I have dark skin. I'm naked except for something wrapped around my waist. I can't tell if I'm a girl or a boy. It doesn't seem to matter. What does matter is the smell of the ocean, the dancing of the waves, the sunlight, the sand. I wade in a shallow pool of water in between some rocks. A dolphin! Come and play. I can't. I don't remember how to breathe underwater. I'll remind you. Okay. He's my friend from a long time ago, before I was born into this dark skin. I grasp his dorsal fin. We glide through the water. This is my home. When you breathe underwater, your nose must allow only the air molecules in. Yes, I remember. Not too far from the statue of David are huge pieces of stone. stone that were part of Michelangelo's basement. Out of the stone, body parts emerge, push, strive to be born, to exist. A head turns as an arm, shoulder twists back to reach a hand. Muscle strain as a leg tries to take a first step. A torso quietly breathes, patiently awaiting more. Dwell in possibility. Up. Up. This is what I know. Adversity, pain, tragedy, loss punches little holes in us. Maybe that's how God enters. You had my father's name taken off my birth certificate? You almost convinced me he was a shadow. I planted violet flowers in a white rectangular box which sat in my kitchen window. What would it take for you to believe? Bring my flowers back to life. Look, bright green leaves growing off dried brown sticks jutting out of the soil. Now do you believe? You almost convinced me my father was a shadow, but I saw the shadow's face. I smelled him. You put his name on my birth certificate. This is what I know. If I'm not crazy, then they are responsible. This is what I know. Adam committed the original sin when he blamed Eve for his choice. Thank you. I saw the shadow's face. I smelled him. I know you did. I looked down at my hands. They're white from clenching them. I loosen my grip and watch as white becomes red. Rome, the Sistine Chapel. I turn and look around me. The Virgin, Christ, Adam and Eve, the garden, angels, the serpent, and all through birth certificate, ancient rocks that crumble and held too tightly. I once heard someone talk about reincarnation. She said Jesus was the reincarnation of Adam. She said Jesus had to come back and die for our sins because he had committed the original sin. What's original sin? Forgetting. Forgetting. Out of the corner of my eye, I see another self-portrait. Distorted. Limp. Lifeless. Tired. I watch as I